the 2003 Vienna Alumni Association annual meeting, and also to look over the treasurer's report. One thing I would like to ask, if you nominate or have anything to say, if you would stand and state your name so that we can get your name down on the record. Okay. Are there any additions or corrections to the secretary's minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented? Emil and Donna. Donna seconds. Okay. We will now have the treasurer's report. Grace McMullen. Oh, excuse me. We need to vote, right? All those in favor of the approval of the secretary's minutes, would you say aye, please? Those not in favor? All right, the motion carried.
We ended our year last year with $159.89 in the checking account. And we have $601.88 in the savings account.
Are there any additions or corrections? Right, hearing none, is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report with thanks? Donna and... Okay, Dallas.
Stand up.
I'm already standing up.
All right, all those in favor, say aye, please. Those not in favor? I say the motion carries. All right, we will now have the correspondence, and Grace Quimby-Dury will give us the correspondence for the past year. When reporting correspondence, we have telephone calls, we have large envelopes of different classes asking us for help in getting their classmates' addresses. So I'm going to try and cover some of them quickly. Way back in April 26th of 2003, that was right after our alumni, Denise Schuler called and wanted to thank us for a lovely banquet, and she also had Larry Lay's address, who we were looking for quite a while. On April 28th, Lillian Troop Michaelak thanked us for a lovely banquet, and I see her granddaughter Amanda and her fiance brought her back again to us this year. April 30th, we got a thank you from Bob and Jeannie Alt that read, "Many thanks for the lovely flowers, the delicious acorn cookies, and the name card you sent me. I was very sorry that I couldn't come to this lovely affair. We are hoping for being able for next year's banquet." And as you'll notice, they didn't make it. So lovely, the spring flowers and the beautiful green grass. The winter snow has had a good effect, even though it made a big shoveling for a lot of us. With love and prayers, Bob and Jeannie Alt. Then we got a thank you from Grace McMullen at the time of Jim's death. And she wrote, "Dear Vienna Alumni Association friends, thank you so much for the beautiful basket of flowers you sent in memory of Jim. They and your many kind words over the long months of his illness are truly appreciated." And it's signed Grace, Dan, Kevin, Kim, McMullen. Then we got an inquiry from Paul Kovacs. He cared enough that did he or did he not be mailed an invitation? And our computer said yes, and Paul said, "I didn't get it." So we sent him another one. On April 15th of 2004, we got a lovely leaflet of many pages from the class of 1958, and Pam Beats was the writer, and she put, "Dear Gladys," and you know when they say Dear Gladys, they mean alumni. "We just had our 45th reunion in October the 3rd. Please update or add names for notification of Banquet April 2005, which will then be our 50th. They must mean later. "We are planning another get-together in Ohio. Thanks, Pam." And I sat down and put a leaflet together and got it off to them. Then we got a thank you from Ed Reichert and family, telling us that our thoughtfulness and our time of sorrow was greatly appreciated. And he's referring to his wife, Mary Zedek Reichert. And she was very much an active part of this alumni, and we have felt her loss already in planning this alumni. Then Gladys Quimby Doherty lost her mother, and I sent a thank you to each member of the board. My mother would have been 96 this month, and she was with us a long time, so we are happy that she's finally resting in peace. Then we got some material from the Mathews Local Board of Education asking us if we would be interested in keeping some of the long records of the Vienna School. And after looking over many pages of them, we decided, meaning our President Charlotte and myself, that there was nothing that really interested the alumni. If they had had an enrollment, it would have interested us. And seeing as we do not have a historic society, we let that business go by the side. Then we invited Ed Reichert back to the alumni this year, and he had planned to come and then remembered another commitment he had. But he wanted us to know, he said, "Your thoughtfulness was appreciated in inviting me to the alumni banquet. I am sorry to decline due to other commitments. I was honored just to be invited." And then the class of 1955, who will be our 50 year next year, said, "Dear Gladys," meaning you, "I am writing in response to your invitation to the annual alumni banquet. I am so sorry that I can't make it this year, as I have another commitment this time, but wanted to update my files. I know that our class will be the 50th next year, and wanted to be sure I was on your mailing list. My address has changed, and although your note was forwarded this year, it may not be next year, but we did have her corrected address and sent her another invitation." I think I failed there too, so I am enclosing the list of 1955 grads that I received the same day as your notice, so it is as up to date as you can get. If you want more info, you can contact Dallas Woodall. He is the one that keeps the database up to date. Hope you all have a wonderful time, and hello to all. My plan is to be there next year. Diane Kellogg Kimmy. And may I just say, if you make a change in your residence, will you please notify the Vienna alumni? We would appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll go on to old business now. Is there any old business? Right. As there is not any old business, we'll go directly to new business. And we have to elect some officers tonight, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And the floor now is open for nominations for vice president. And if you could stand and state your name.
My name is Margaret Goody, and I would like to nominate
Jim Ziddick is nominated for vice president. Ann Shargo. Any other nominations for vice president? I didn't. Marjorie All? All right, put Marjorie All down. Okay. We have Jim Ziddick and Ann Shargo. Okay. Would someone like to move that the nominations be closed? Yes? Do we have a second? The nominations are now closed. Yes, I think I'll have the two people leave, Ann and Jim, please. Did you decline, Jim? All right. All right, if you withdraw your nomination, would anyone like to move that we pass unanimous vote? All right, Joanne? Unanimous? All right, I guess, is there a second, please? All right, Glenn Gray, all those in favor? I see we have a new vice president. All right, you caught me on that one, all right. Now the floor is open for nominations for secretary. Do we have nominations from the floor? Yes, Dallas. All right. Would you be willing? Are there any other nominations? Would someone like to move that nominations be closed? All right, Charlotte. And a second? Dallas, second that. All those in favor? All those opposed? Congratulations. Oh, this is going much better than I thought. All right, treasurer. Are there any nominations for treasurer from the floor? Joanne? All right, Grace McMullen is willing to serve again. Anyone else? Would someone like to move the nominations? All right, Benny? Benny Gibson moved that the nominations be closed. Someone seconded, please. Glenn Gray, all those in favor? All those opposed? All right, we have another new treasurer. I guess that takes care of new business, and now we will have the memoriam. Yes.
At this time, I would read the names of our class, names and class of our deceased alumni from the previous year, and they are published. Edgar Huffman, 1933. John Pennell Sr., 1934. Robert Gibson, 1935. Cecilia Billick Ernst, 1936. Catherine Terlecki, 1938. Vera Tidd, 1938. Clara E. Black, 1940. Mary Lou Walters, 1942.
Correction.
That's a correction.
She graduated in
1942. Mary Lou Walters, 1942. We have corrected it. Catherine Huffman Stam, 1944. Jack Bradley, 1952. Robert Griffith, 1954. Bernard Suprak, 1956. Mary Zidek Reichert, 1956. Keith Wood, 1961. Would you please bow your head? Lord, we keep forgetting all those who lived before us. We keep forgetting those who lived and worked in our communities. We keep forgetting those who prayed and sang hymns in our churches before we were born. We keep forgetting what our fathers have done for us. We commit the sin, Lord, of assuming that everything begins with us. We drink from wells we did not find. We eat food from farmland we did not develop. We enjoy freedoms which we have not earned. We worship in churches we did not build. We live in communities we did not establish. This day, make us grateful for our heritage. Amen. This concludes our memorial service.
Thank you, Joanne. It was very nice. We will now have the roll call of classes, and Gladys will take care of that. Joanne, will you take We begin with the class of 1917. As usual, that sounds a long time ago, doesn't it? But whenever we have a name on the records, we cannot do away with it until we're notified. The class of 1918 is deceased, so we'll go on to 1919. We'll skip down to 1922. The other class is deceased. 1923 and 24 are all deceased. 1925. The class of 1926, all members deceased. The class 1927. The class 1928 and 1929, all members deceased. 1930. 1931. 1932. Lillian. 1933.
1933, 1934. Edgar Mead. 1935, 1936, 1937, 1938. 1939. Bob Williams, Elizabeth Woodward. 1940. The Rice Twins. Oh, we got one more. I'm sorry, I had my back to Grace. Was that 1940, Grace, was it not? All right, they have 3. All right, we're ready for 1941. 1942. Benny and Florence. 3, 4. Any more? Thank you. 1943. 1944, Helen. 1945.
I started to get up 3 classes.
He's telling on all of us, isn't he? 1946. 1947. 1948. He doesn't let me out. 1949. 1950. Oh, look at that. 4. I think that gentleman in the back is just thinking. 4. 1951. Oh, nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? I did. He had that cane waving in the air. 1952. 2 gentlemen. 1953. 1955. You were all ready to stand, weren't you? 1955. 1956. Oh, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. 1957. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1958. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very nice. Was it 6? Pardon me? Was it 5 or 6? 6? We'll correct that. 1959. 1960. 1961. What you got? Okay. 1962. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay. 1963. 1964. 2. Thank you. 3. Oh, Goody. Sorry about that. 1965. Hi, David. And did anyone come from 1966? No. All right. Now may I ask, is there anyone here that we haven't called the year you attended here? All the members of 1954 say, you forgot us. I don't think so.
Now we're going to have some announcements. First of all, anyone else interested in buying a 50-50 ticket? Dallas and Jim will help you out. Raise your hand. I'll give you a few minutes on this. While they're doing that, I'd like to make a few announcements. And I would like to thank everyone that has helped make this banquet a success. Nobody else? Right.
I told my
There'll be a few minutes as they store the tickets and count the money.
Anybody wants to know how much money I'm going to get?
Put yours in there too.
There's another thank you to John Goodworth for taking the video pictures. Thank you. I hope sometime you'll share them with us.
Sure. I'm going to have Barbara over here talk this up for me.
We collected $304, so the person that wins will take home $152. All right, this is exciting. 1, 3, 3. 839. 133,839. We have a winner. Do we have a second? All right, Glenn Gray, seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Now, with the conclusion of the business meeting, now we're going to turn over the events, the wonderful events that will be coming up. And we're going to turn this over to the honor class of 1954. So sit back and relax, and we get to listen to them.
That's not bad, Gracie. Sure. Come on, I'll help you.
That's all right, I'm just kidding.
All right, well, okay.
I'm going to do.
Work now? I just bought $100 worth of equipment because you can see some of it wasn't working well. Right now, I'm the new maintenance foreman around this school, the whole school system, so I'm part of the class of 54, we'll start there. Well, everybody from the class of 54, stand up and be recognized. I'm thinking we're missing Steve Burstovich tonight. And we were out because he was out with us last night. But, that's why. We left him out on the road.
With the paint bucket.
Yeah, we can do it like, oh, here it is. This is our class weapon for anybody that wants to know. We're noted, we're the only class that didn't graduate on commencement night because we were not doing this. We graduated the next morning in the old Viking room under kind of stressful conditions. What do you have to say about that, Emil?
Alright, Ken, you're a thing way down here.
We should have got you a box to sit on.
You want to put me in
Yeah. By the way, Emil's he's the mayor of Vienna. He is the mayor. I want to pass this around to each one of our individuals and our classmates and they can tell you the story what they've done for the last 50 years. I'll start out with Toots, all right?
My name is Rosemary Gibson, given name, but known as Toots, Tootsie, or anything else. I graduated, of course, from the class of 1954, and after that, I went to Penn State University, became a teacher in 1957, and married my husband Dwayne, but oh, there he is, around the corner in 1959 in Akron, Ohio. We had 3 children. Our first was born in Akron. His name is Dwayne. He now resides in Washington, D.C. He is an attorney, and he and his wife Paula have 2 children. Their eldest is 5, and their youngest is 2. Our second son was born in Buffalo, New York, and he is now in Anchorage, Alaska. He has 2 sons, and they are age 4 and are 5 and 2. And then our daughter was born in New Jersey, and she resides here in Oberlin, Ohio. We lived in New Jersey for about 12 years, then came back to Ohio. I was very happy to come back to Ohio because somehow the Ohio people are very, very special, and that's where our children grew up. I went back into teaching when our youngest was in 3rd grade, and just in 1999, I retired with 30 years of teaching. I love teaching, and I think the reason I love teaching is because of a special teacher I had here at Vienna School. And this is why I was very excited about coming back. Earl Baker, how many of you had Earl Baker? Well, she was the biggest influence that I ever had. And when I was in 5th grade, she said, I believe about 8 words to me. She said, Rosemary, someday you will become a good teacher. And she planted that seed. Not only did she plant the seed, but she also followed through as a self-appointed counselor when I was a senior. She led me to a cadet scholarship and then on to Kent State University. As a matter of fact, she enrolled me there without my parents' consent. And then I had to go home and talk them into letting me go. But they highly respected her, and so they let me go. I have loved teaching. It was something that I didn't know at the time that I wanted, but I was very happy and thought I could never live without it. But now I have retired, and my husband and I reside in Phoenix, Arizona, Fountain Hills, Arizona, and we've been there for 3 years. We love the sunshine. We tried to bring a little bit of here when we came, but it doesn't work all the time. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for having this because it was very important for me to come back, since I never had a chance to tell Burl that she was that special person in my life. I just want all of you to know that. So, thank you for having us. Thank everybody for having all the people that are here for having this year after year and putting all the work into it, because it really was special.
I am Scott. I established our stage about 50 years ago. It's double space, so okay. I went to Youngstown, stayed for 1 year, joined the Army in 55 for 3 years, married Annette Millard in 59, still married, 3 children. My oldest son's in Texas. My next son is in Bristol, and my daughter's in Maine. I have 6 grandchildren, 1 great-grandson. I started at Packard in 58, I retired in 99, 41 years. It was a great life. Now I hunt, fish, and my wife and I go on trips. And I'd like to thank everybody for having me. It was wonderful. Thank you.
There you go.
For this class. I did graduate with them, but I came back and got my GED about 20 years later, and I've been in contact with quite a few of them, and they kind of brought me to them. So I'm kind of honorary. But I've been married before they graduated. We have 4 children, 10 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. And we've been married 53 years. And I didn't work for about 30 years, and then my husband's company went bankrupt, so I started working. And he told me, you were first starting out, it's my turn. He told me you have to lower his standard of living, so I went to work. But we managed all right. I worked for Hallmark for 5 years, and then I went over to Kenny's, and I've been selling bridges and winter covering for 16 years. And we enjoy traveling. The kids are all gone. We enjoy traveling. Last year we spent 4 weeks on a trip to Alaska, and then northwest and southwest, and up in the United States. So a lot of traveling. Thank you for honoring us.
Sparky?
My name's Mary Ann Roosevelt. Okay. I worked as a bookkeeper and then as a credit manager all my life. And I'm living with my daughter until my son has brain damage from a car accident, so he's not better. And I want to thank everybody for having us here tonight. And Jean back is here. I was on the edge. Thank you.
I'm Grant Williams, senior, and I got married in my senior year and graduated in '54. I married Billy Callahan from Powell, and we've been married 51 years, and we have 6 kids and 14 grandkids. And we all live and reside now down in North Carolina, and I'm Charlotte. And the boys are all in construction, and the girls, one's a school teacher, and one's working for a lumber company. And I'm in construction, and I haven't retired yet. I'm still working, still building buildings. And it's really nice to be part of this class and see them all here. And I thank you all for that.
Bob Hummer, graduated from college in '58, taught a few years. I'm 72, did some traveling. Started my own business. And still single, retired, and like it that way.
Well, my name's William W. McFarland, and I'm from Texas. I was born in south of Fort Worth, Texas in 1936, February 18th. And I came up here in Ohio in 1946 with my mother. And I was in the 4th grade in here, and I graduated in '54 because we all stood up. I was married 3 times. My last wife died August 31st, 99. And anyway, I went in the Army with a guy named Ray Remus. Well, he's not here now. He graduated. We went in the Army a week after we graduated, and I can't tell you all about that. I'm glad we just graduated in '54, not '52 or '53, because we'd have probably got killed in Korea. I'm glad. We might have got shot at there. Then I went back in the Army in 1960 at Fort Hood, Texas. We were down there, then we went down to Fort Hood, Georgia, and they flew us over to Da Nang in Vietnam, but that was in October of 1962, and they wasn't fighting over there. I'm glad of that. I was over there 6 months ago. And then I was married to my first wife then, and she divorced me when I got out of the Buck Garden. I don't know why. I had a daughter. I got a daughter who lived down in Raleigh, Texas. Now, she'll be 41, maybe 22nd. And I liked everybody in here, and I liked everybody in our class. I did. We played good baseball here, and we had a good basketball team. And the best basketball player that we had was named Rex Leach. He was a junior. We were the This guy here, John Pell, he was the next best. He was a great basketball player.
1984, and I came back and I hadn't seen my friend Ike Scott for 40-some years. And we got in a lot of trouble when we were kids. We got together today, and I'm sure if I moved back, we'd be in trouble with me. I went to Bowling Green State University, and then went to the Navy for 4 years. And when I got out of the Navy, I went to work at Sharon Steel for 8. And then I went in business with my brother, and we moved the business to South Carolina in 1984. And in 88, some dumb guy from New York bought us out, so we quit working. But I had 2 children, and I was married for 38 years, and I drove her so crazy she joined the Peace Corps. Anyway, I have 2 wonderful children and 2 grandsons, and they both all reside in South Carolina. And I'm kind of a bum. I go from Florida to Vermont to South Carolina and wherever else. When the heat's on one place, I go someplace else. Is what it is. Anyway, I really enjoyed life and wouldn't trade my years in Grant for anything. And I want to thank you all for having this occasion because I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
My name is Carol Rainey Scott. I married Dean Scott from class of 1950. We were married 2 years after I got out of high school, and we went to, Dean's first job was in California, so we spent the first 5 years of our marriage in California. We had 2 girls out there. Then he's an electrical engineer, and so the contract would go to different companies, and so we left the area. That didn't seem too secure to us. And so we come back this way, and he ended up at Packard Electric. So we stayed here then for the rest of the time, and had 2 more boys. We have 4 children and 6 grandchildren. And the children all left the area here. And so we are now retired in Aiken, South Carolina. 3 of our children are now in South Carolina with us. And the other one, we have a son that's out in Seattle, Washington. And we had a great life. I had a wonderful time. And it was nice to be with this class. I didn't come to the class till the last 2 years of high school. So, but it was nice to see them all again. Nobody's changed.
Sometimes you have to take something in your hand, so I did have a couple extra microphones in the back of my trunk of my car. It was a good thing I did. Yeah.
I'm Rosemary Zachas Coker. After graduation, I attended Youngstown State University for 2 years to become a teacher, and I retired from teaching in 1998, and like Rosemary, I loved my job, but it was just time for me to retire. I married Carl in 1957, so we've been married 46 years. We have 3 children. Valerie is with the Centers for Disease Control. Lisa is a medical technologist, and we have a son that's an attorney. We did a lot. We moved a lot because my husband's a football coach, and well, he's retired now. Spent the last years coaching football at Westminster College. So we did a lot of moving until he became football coach at Westminster, and then we settled down. So I had a good life. I've enjoyed my teaching career, and I I got my bachelor's and master's degree at Youngstown State University.
My name is Charles Timka. It's my wife Sandy. We've been married for 46 years. I'll count them tomorrow. We have 3 children, 2 boys and 1 daughter. We live on King Grace Road on the Brookfield side. I worked for United Parcel Service for 34 years. I've been retired for 9 years. I like to ski in the wintertime, play golf, do a little woodworking, mow grass, break leaves, shovel snow. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah. Other than that, that's about all I do. Thank you.
I knew they were going to give this to me. My name is Charles Zimmer. I'm the youngest of 11, and everybody here knows that at least 9 of them come through here. So you don't have to put up with us anymore. This is it, okay? And tonight there will be no speeches about outhouses in West Virginia. The twin that doesn't want to be a twin anymore is still a twin. Okay? She's still a twin. So that's the end of that story there. Okay? We did graduate in '54. It was questionable, but we did. And after graduation, I got a few jobs and didn't like anything what I was doing or where I was going. And I got a chance to be an apprentice pipe fitter. And I couldn't even spell pipe fitter, let alone be one. Well, I go into Grinnell, and luckily for me, one of the graduates from Vienna was the foreman in Grinnell. And then I found out he was one of the best mechanics in Grinnell. Then I found out he was one of the best mechanics in our local. His brother was sitting down here warning flour. It was his older brother, Lynn Flower, which I knew him as Jay. So I go over and say, hey, Jay, and everybody look at me like I was goofy. You know, who's Jay? Because his name was Lynn. And luckily for me, he understood, because I was just a young kid and learning my trade. And after 5 years of that, I became a journeyman steam fitter. And in the process, I was driving through Warren, and I found this redhead that graduated from Hardy. So she consented to marry me in '59. And since then, we've had 4 children. And unlike these other ones that have their children going all over the place and doing this and doing that, we can't get rid of ours. Here to stay, they won't leave their mother. Okay? No matter what you try to do, they won't leave. There was one of them there that called this morning, another one came to pick her up, and then she went with another one to shower this afternoon. They just won't leave mother alone, I don't think. But we tried that. We went to Florida, because I've got brothers down here in Florida, and they made us come back. But after 42 and a half years of working as a pipe fitter and going around the world, and not the world but the country, working wherever the good jobs were, and then I retired from that. And we had the 4 children, and we have 7 grandchildren, and still babysit them, which every day we have a 3-year-old, which is another story that we won't get into, okay? And again, I've come to quite a few of the reunions here, the alumni banquets, and when we stood up and said you didn't honor, you didn't call 54, I knew that.
I'm Clarice McElrath McGee. I now live in Florida, Lake City, Florida. I have 6 children. I have 5 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. After I raised my children, I went to real estate school. I had my own business for 19 years. I became ill a couple of years ago and decided to retire. I didn't like that, so I went back to work part-time as a secretary at the real estate school who teaches real estate. I haven't been home for a long time, about 20 years, and it's good to see all of the kids that I graduated with, and I'm glad to be here, and thank you.
I'm Barbara Hart Yulum. After graduation, I worked at the Second National Bank in Warren as an elevator operator. Then I worked for an insurance company. And then I think it was 67. Mr. Severko hired me as high school secretary here at Vienna and Mathews. I worked here for 31 years. I retired in July of 1998 for a while. I got bored, and I'm a caregiver now. I help take care of the elderly. I have one son and one granddaughter, and I have been a widow for 15 years. So more or less, I take care of myself. I live with my son, who won't leave me live by myself, which I prefer. I just want to thank everybody for coming this evening, and I want to thank the alumni for having us. And it's been great because it's been so good to see some of my classmates I haven't seen for 50 years. So it's been really a great evening for all of us. And again, thank you.
There's one special person that we'd like to recognize tonight. And that's Mrs. Joanna, the class teacher, senior. If this cord goes this far, where'd she go? There she is, all right. I knew you were hiding under there. We liked it, like to present you as the centerpiece with our table.
Thank you. This is just wonderful. I'm so happy to be here tonight, really. Hi, Patty. And I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. And hi, John, my old buddy over there. Anyway, it's wonderful to be here. It really is. We had a beautiful time last night when we all got together privately and shared our experiences, and I found out so much from these people, how they lived their lives after they graduated, what they have done with their lives after they graduated. It's like a melting pot, as they say in this country. Everybody going their own way and making something of themselves, and that's what this is all about. Here you are, all of you here sharing your experiences and having a good time, and God willing, you'll be able to do it again. And I hope I'm here to share those experiences with you. I also want to thank some of the people who have gotten the class together. Rosemary over there, Tootsie, she worked hard, and Rosemary Coker worked hard, and of course our Barbara over there worked hard and got all of us together, and without them it wouldn't have been the success it is. My husband here, John, we have been celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary last June, and when I first came to Vienna, I was Miss Faithless, those of you who remember me. And then after that, it was Mrs. Joanne all the way through. So again, thank you very much, and I enjoyed myself tonight, and again, I hope to see you in the future.
Some of our class came from considerable distances tonight, and Steve's not here, but he was at the party last night. He's from Oregon. He came all the way from Oregon. Clarice is from Florida. Rosemary is from Arizona. John's from Vermont. Vermont, John, or is that Vermont, South Carolina, and Florida? And Carol's from South Carolina, and Grandis from North Carolina. I'm glad to see you know, some of these. I haven't seen some of them for over 50 years. There are 29 of us representing tonight. That's classmates and their spouse. And I'd like to recognize too our deceased, Bob Griffith, with his graduated with us, and another one, or another two, that really nobody really ever knew was Betty Lou Smalley and Ron Gottschall. Betty Lou Smalley was a polio victim. She never came to class, but she graduated with our class. Both of those, Betty and Ron, are deceased now. Our class was actually we ended up with more than when we started out with. We had 11 students in first grade, and we ended up with 22. Is that correct? Because we took on students as time went on, and we ended up with almost double the students at graduation. I graduated in 1994. I'm Paul Barr. I guess everybody knows me. I left here in 54. I went to work at Republic Steel, and I went to college at Drexel Institute of Technology in Philadelphia. I took up electrical courses, I learned machine shop, surveying, and then I did my work in Youngstown at Youngstown College, which is now Youngstown University. I worked at Republic Steel. I designed motors for H.K. Porter Purvis and Warren. I was a superintendent at Reactive Metals, and we started, I worked with Albee Homes as an engineer for them. We started 2 companies in the late 70s, Multi-Induction Services and Omega Services. Those companies are still going. But then I decided to go out on my own. I spent 24 years on my own, building and servicing for the power companies, and also designing and special swimming pools. Our largest swimming pool was 56 foot long and 24 inches wide, and was 12 foot deep at the deep end. It was a huge pool. 54 feet, I'm sorry. By the way, we built swim baptismal farms, which were very small. They were only 4 foot wide and 4 foot long. Then I decided that the opening that was available here at the school for a supervisor of maintenance, and this was a challenge. I never realized the condition was so bad in this school in a lot of areas. The heating, the lighting, a lot of things were just run down. The bottom line, they were neglected, period. That's all there was to it. So in the last 2 years that I've been here, we've corrected all the heating problems. We've changed the lighting. We're adding perimeter lighting to the outside of the school. And I like to say that I get my money from the money that we would have spent to the Ohio Edison and the gas company. If I can cut $35,000 off the gas bill, I will buy something for the kids. To give you an idea, we pay $5,500 just for electric for the football field alone. That could be cut in half or more, and this will happen. We have plans to change the lights up at the football field. We're involved in a lot of construction here. I have 14 people working for me. Bill Brown, that's here tonight, is one of my employees. He does a very good job. We have 2 new locker rooms in process, which we will do ourselves. This is for the athletes alone. And when I design something, it's first class all the way. They have everything. They have showers, enclosed showers. They're private. They have televisions. They have VCRs and DVD players for everything to learn about their basketball experiences. This goes for boys and girls. Actually, I'm trying to make a better school here. And I believe that if you give the kids good light, good heat, good living conditions, their grades will go up and our problems will go down. And I think this is starting to show already. In about 4 years, the Ohio School Facilities Commission will allow us to start looking for a new school. And there's another thing that we're going to get involved with. This is a very large project. We're talking about, it was first estimated at $33 million. It was considered a low estimate, and we'll probably end up paying around $38 million for this project. We are now 417 on the list of 612 schools in the state of Ohio, which means we'll have to wait a while. We will only get approximately 35% help from the state. We will have to pay the additional 65%. And one of my objectives is to show the people in the community that we can do something with our money, make it a good school, and we can keep a good school. And we'll go to the rundown condition of this one, and Neil, and of course Baker and Curry. They're all that. But after spending a considerable amount of money and a lot of effort, we've done a lot of improvements in all of the schools. So that's about it. Who do I hand it back to now? You want it, Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll hold that. You can have this mic. My younger sister.
That concludes the program for tonight, and we invite you to remain and talk with your friends, and we hope, the board, the alumni board, hope that we will be back here next year for 2005. Thanks for coming, and have a safe journey home.
You too. See you
You know, I just decided, they took all the shots, all the records. I know, they have to shut the gas station. You're all by yourself. I just retired. I especially the kind of kids we got. The kind of kids like I remember I was saying, I said, well, what do you think's going on? Well, these are doctors, lawyers, business people. They said, well, the third and long coach, they're doing this and this. On the front side, the back side, they do this. Second and short, they do this. And it's back side. They scored. It's a great call, coach. Great call. Yeah. There's just something about the smarter athlete. Totally transcends. You know what I mean? Some of the athletes now, like you see the pros too, they're
I'll give a tour at our board meetings. Used to walk the floor. No, when you were here, I just took the dinner.
We had a game.
Connie Rose does this. I'll talk about it.
The guy from Middletown is big guy. You make a basketball dance around for half an in Westminster, you never saw a guy. You never. We couldn't let him. I remember one time we were playing and they were all and they started chirping away. Started chirping back. I took him. He went crazy. He was this way you doing. I said, well, when you started trying, you changed our team from 11 men to 10 men. That team's good. We now 11 guys. So I sent in 11 guys. He falls jumping on the sideline for 2 quarters. Finally put him in, never again. Is there a buddy? Okay, can you?
I wonder why they didn't come, because, yeah, her husband Randy was my class advisor, so he better show up in a couple of days. He died, right?
I enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take care of yourself.
I had the same thing. Did you have a fusion too?
This felt like
I had a bad disc, deteriorated disc.
Okay, well, the picture.
Hey, Flo, you want to go out and have a drink with Paul and eat?
See if we get drunk.
Right, yeah,
No, I think if I sit down,
yeah.
be moved. From who? No, I didn't. Now, we're expecting people to remember when they had your news safely How did your cooking classes turn out? You cooking up a store? Just like our class. You look good.
Yeah, I guess it's That's great. I got nursing for 2 years, and then I did.
That's right, you can't drink anymore. Yeah, but I don't know. You don't want to go.
And then after that, and then I was I know, so many in our class. Oh, yeah. I was up there many times.
Are you ready?
I probably did. I worked all the steps different times.
That smile,
Can't change those.
their antics down there. That's nice talking.
Nice talking to you. Great. All right. Thank you.
Graduate 1 year.
She's going to go home. You're going to. You guys are going that I'll take it. Hey, Paul. That's just it, Paul Bar. Hey,
I'll send this thing to our little kid.
like your brother and sister a bit there. Nice pronoun. All set, sir? All right. Now get on the helm and carry the stuff out.
I don't think, I think my husband will be back.
Don't ride a bike up by your place now.
Okay, Mom.
Hey, Grant, have a good trip back. Oh, stop down the other way. Yeah, come down.
We almost had a sling of officers and it's almost decided before we, but she says, no, they don't do it.
Look before you run to the campus. Hey, thanks, guys.
I take it. You take them back to her? Yeah. Oh, she won't charge.
I don't think.
Does it?
Yeah. I don't know.
Get a heart?
Make mistake.
See, that's-
Okay. When I played tennis in Packard Park years ago, there was a fellow that had a T-bird down there, granted, like in the 60s, early 60s.
I went to Carolina, there was a Rose Bowl in 57.
Well, I hope I get to see her sometime. Hey, thanks
How
a lot.
about you somewhere in the world?
Yeah, that's right, we'll bump into each other, maybe in the Middle East. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, and that was my senior year, and Margaret Neely at that time.
I just saw her.
I haven't seen her.
I saw her.
Sorry, she
Wednesday
wasn't.
night.
You see her again, I don't know if you remember, just said Dave Roush said, did she? No. But just tell her Dave Roush was here again.
Her brother was here.
Her parents were here last year. I think those guys were